Yo, what's going on, homies? Hope you guys are doing well out there. We're back again doing another Supercoach video for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoy. I know I missed the last 2 weeks of Supercoach, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, but we will catch up on that a little bit. If you checked out my community page, I did update you on the teams and the people I brought in the last couple of weeks. Matty Tomoko, players like that have been fucking amazing for me. But we're going to go through our round 11 scores of the weekend, our top scorers, our low scorers, and then the trades that I'll be looking at maybe coming into round 12. I'm still conflicted on my trades, so I won't put up who I've got in my team coming into this week, but judging by coming up to lockout, I have no clue at the moment. I'm still trying to figure out who I'm going to put in for Sean Lane, whether I keep Sean Lane for a week, but then I don't have anyone to cover, really. I'm not too sure. So if you enjoy this sort of content, please make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. So my score over the weekend was 1,232 points. My rank is sitting at 8,150. Still sitting around that 8,000 mark. I have not really moved out of that 8,000 mark for the last 3 weeks now. I did have a week there before where I had a really low score and I was fucking like, oh, and then I held 8,000, so I couldn't believe it. So there you go. That's probably the reason why I'm sitting at 8,000 right now. My top scorers of the weekend, we had Dave Fafita on 111 points. The guy was fucking bonkers in that game. It's so good to have him, and he's up sitting like 898k right now. Fucking awesome to have him in our squad. Nico Hines with 98 points, 196 on a captain. Just a set and forget captain at the moment. I know he had a couple of down weeks in between there and all that sort of stuff, but like he's back to like 100-point games and stuff like that. He's pretty much like a set and forget at the moment, and he's got a decent matchup against the Knights this week. Pretty excited on that one. Valentine Holmes with 92 points. Really excited to have him still in our squad at the moment. We'll probably be looking at trading him out round 13. He'll definitely be picked up for Origin, but just good to have guns like this that we may be able to sit over the Origin period. Maybe I don't need to trade him out. Who knows? We'll have to see how we go. Ruben Garrick with 90 points. Really great game from him. He seems to be just getting unicorn points and all that sort of stuff, but he gets decent points either way. Like scoring a try in that game. He had a couple of tackle breaks and all that sort of stuff. But I think not last week, the week before, maybe it was last week where he got 81 or whatever. Actually, I think it was in the Magic Round game. He got 81 points where it was like, everyone was like, how? So he seems to be just that sort of player, and it's just great to have like a top-notch player like him at the moment. I think he's sitting 570k, something like that. He should jump up some cash pretty soon. Harry Grant, 79 points. Really great game from him. It's good to have him back into form a little bit, like best hooker in the comp. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with my hooker rotation coming up to round 13, but it is what it is. You have to see out my video next week. Eli Katoa, 72 points. Would have been so much better if he scored that try over the weekend. Pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. Greg Imaju, 71 points. Just back to tackle breaks after tackle break after tackle break and scoring the try. Would have loved to see him maybe crack into that 90 range or whatever like that, but 71 is pretty good overall. I think a couple of errors early to start the game because that game started fucking shithouse, to be honest. And then Tino Fa'asul Mala'awi with 70 points. Great game from him. It's good to see him back in form as well. He's been my gun forward to start the season. I have not traded him out. Coming into Origin, maybe I could be resting him on my bench and play him in and out, but I'm not too sure what his minutes will be like during the Origin period and all that sort of stuff. So maybe even looking at trading him out and bringing old Joe Tarpanet around the Origin period. Low score of the weekend. We had 2 injuries over the weekend. So Joey Manu, Sean Lane. I'm that guy that got hit with both those injuries. So 33 points for both those boys. Not too bad, to be honest, with both injuries and all that sort of stuff. Joey Manu in the second half, which was kind of a bit like he was going to be looking at somewhat of a lower score from his standard. And Sean Lane, 33 points before halftime. So he could have probably got another 30 to that score, maybe sitting about 60s, 50s. So, which is okay for him. Tommy Turbo with 41 points. Yeah, just Tommy's just not Tommy at the moment. Thoughts going through my head whether, you know, what I'm doing with Tommy around the Origin period and that. If he gets picked, obviously maybe I could sit him, maybe I'm not, but that also comes around how Walshy's going to go if he gets picked for Origin. If he isn't, I do think that Kalen Pong is going to get that starting role for Queensland. Comment down below who you think is going to get it, but I just think after Kalen Ponga's performance over the last weekend, and he'll probably come into this weekend, whether he has a decent game or not, last weekend just shows that he can step up to that level, and his confidence was there in that game. So if hopefully he makes it through this weekend, and then Reece Walsh can actually play during the Origin period, but hopefully he won't score too well against my Warriors in the first Origin game, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Trades coming into this weekend, so I won't show my team how we're going to be looking over this weekend, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking about in my head because I'm still not set on my trades. I think the most set one I have is Alamonte to Billy Smith. Billy Smith's been amazing the last couple of weeks for the Roosters. Probably their shining light, especially when their attack hasn't been too great. 2 high 80 scores or whatever like that. So he's going to make a shitload of cash soon, depending on what he scores this week too. Could go for like 100K and all that sort of stuff. Could be looking really, really nice. Alamonte's been good for me. He's been a bit more of a slow burn in Supercoach. I think he reached 400s at one stage. Then he was sitting around 350 for a bit of time there. Had a decent score over the weekend. I think with the Fox coming back, he should be a lot better. But I just need to bring Billy Smith in. And I didn't really want to trade out. I could have traded out Haynes Dunster. I don't think he's going to be coming back anytime soon. Sean Russell has got that starting wing spot. But who knows, with injuries and all that sort of stuff for the Eels, he could be brought back in during Origin period. So that's the reason why I didn't go him out. And with Alamonte, he's only covered for round 14, where Billy Smith can be round 14 cover as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, I had to cut my ties there. As I said, very slow burn. The other one, Sean Lane. I'm not too sure who I'm going to trade out Sean Lane for, whether I do let him sit, but then all I have to play is Josh Schuster, and I'd rather not play Josh Schuster. I'll probably have Josh Schuster on my reserves, maybe, just in case he can get a high score and all that sort of stuff. But like, I don't think I feel comfortable playing Josh Schuster there at the moment. I do think Josh Schuster's in for a big game this weekend. I honestly do. I think the guy's just talented, so he's probably in for a decent score, but not enough to be my second gun edge back rower, because I had 2 edge back rowers with Dave Fafita and Sean Lane. Now it's got Dave Fafita, and I'm thinking Lukey is the way I'm looking. I know there's a whole lot of like talk whether not to go Lukey or to go Lukey. He has a whole lot of upside. He's already had another 77-point game a couple of weeks back, but in between that, I think he had a 23-point game, and I think that came around Magic Round where the rotation and all that sort of stuff. I think he still got 50 minutes or whatever, but the rotation wasn't there. So I'm not too sure. I'm definitely leaning Lukey at the moment. I could go Hopgood, but I'm not too sure. Off the top of my head, I'm really conflicted. I'll do a couple of more like big stats dives and that all the way up to a lockout and see how we go. I do work tonight, so I would have to figure it out on my lunch break or something like that. Before, so it's going to be a bit holding tight until lockout. After these trades, if I go 2 trades this week, I'm on 24 left with still a boost. If I do boost this week, I don't think I will. I think I'm going to hold the boost all the way through the Origin period just for cover in case of injuries and this and that. At the moment, I'm thinking I'm sitting around 11 or 12 players that could be playing around that 13 role, more so 11 because of Walshy. I counted Walshy in it if he doesn't play or he does play. If Schuster gets through injury, hopefully. Dunster, if he gets picked sometime, maybe he could be that 12th player there. If Tommy doesn't play Origin, he could be 12. If everyone that I need to play is playing, I got 13 because of David Moale and all that sort of stuff. But if they don't, then fuck, I need to cover with like a couple more players. But then again, I don't want to pull myself out for round 14 as well, because round 14 will actually be a killer, especially with a whole lot of boys you got to bring in. I'm looking at Raiders, I'm looking at Cowboys, I'm looking at teams like that are going to cover round 13, round 14. So we'll have to see how we go. Hopefully that will get us into some decent rank ranges coming up forward. So my captain for the weekend, I'm going to stick with Nico Hines. A really nice matchup against the Knights. The Knights are still conceding some points and that sort of stuff in their game. They have been gritty and grindy in some opposition in that, but coming off last week, I think the Titans still could have scored a couple of more points with them. So Nico Hines should be in for a decent game. He should get a lot of space with the Knights defense. They're not very they don't have crazy pressure in them. So other than that little moment where Fitzgibbon just went mental for a little bit there, I'm pretty sure he was shooting our line, wanting to put some shots on. So we'll have to see how we go. I'm thinking Nico Hines is definitely the plug this weekend. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm so sorry for the last 2 weeks that I've missed out, but you know what it is, what it is. We're just going to keep chugging along, trying to be consistent and see how we go. Please make sure you like and subscribe down below. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. Take it easy with